Hi guys, and welcome back. It seems that HiFiMan is on a roll again, releasing plenty of new products. Just a few months ago I tried their EF600 DAC Amp combo, which sounded excellent. I also tried their Serenade at various hi-fi shows, which sounds even better. And their EF400 is still being enjoyed by plenty of folks around the world. But it seems that HiFiMan just realized the importance of streaming platforms like Spotify and Tidal, releasing two products for the streaming generation, the EF500, which goes for $459, and the EF499, which goes for $299 US. But today I'll focus on their flagship unit, and let's check it out in the usual fashion. Let's start with the build quality, and as you can see we have quite a compact unit, but please don't get befooled by the understated look, because this one weighs around 3.4 kilos or 7.5 pounds, and since we're not dealing with a fully CNC machined aluminum, most of that weight comes from its linear transformer and from the internal components, which are plenty, as you can see. It seems that HiFiMan didn't put a big accent on the looks of their newest devices, choosing function instead of form, but for me that's okay, because sound quality is more important. Also, it seems that HiFiMan designed this one to be used in a vertical stance, but of course you can remove this stand right here, so if you want you can use this one in a horizontal position as well. But I believe it's a better idea using this one vertically, because it occupies less space, and of course you can use this one as a headphone holder, something like that, which is a pretty good idea. Checking out its controls, we have a 4-pin XLR balanced output, we have a regular 1/4-inch headphone jack, we have a massive volume wheel right here, and also a rotary switch which lets you choose oversampling or non-oversampling working mode, as well as high or low gain position. I'm pleased to see XLR and RCA analog outputs, meaning that we can use this one as a standalone DAC unit in a stereo setup, or maybe you can add a nicer headphone amplifier section if you want. When it comes to digital inputs, we have USB Type-C, USB Type-B, and coaxial inputs, and the biggest surprise for me was the Ethernet input, which unlocks the wired streamer. EF500 currently supports Tidal Connect and Spotify Connect. If you are using such streaming services, then everything you need is a smartphone, tablet, PC, or laptop connected to the same internet connection. Choose EF500 from Tidal or Spotify, and you're all set and ready to hit some eardrums. Under its hood, HiFiMan brought the big guns with this one. We have a newer generation of their R2 DAC architecture, which is called Himalaya LE, which improved channel separation and signal-to-noise ratio compared to their EF400, while maintaining the same impressive power output. The whole unit is being powered by a linear transformer. We have a fully balanced, fully discrete headphone amplifier section, which provides up to 4.5 watts of power per channel in 32 ohms via that balanced output, and 1.32 watts per channel in the same load via that regular headphone jack. We have an R2R ladder DAC section, which consists of two resistor networks, which are called Himalaya LE, and of course we have a simplified wired streamer which works with both Spotify Connect and Tidal Connect. And additionally, you can also play music directly from your NAS drive. Before you ask how Tidal Connect and Spotify Connect feature is working, it's actually incredibly simple. All you need is just a cable coming from your wireless router, connect that one to EF500 on its back, move its mechanical switch on the back to net plus USB, fire up Tidal or Spotify from your smartphone, tablet, PC, or laptop, choose EF500 as the output device from the list, and that's pretty much it. Before telling you a lot about its sound performance, first of all I want to address some potential questions that you might have in regards to heat generation. First of all, as you can see, we no longer have tens of heat dissipation holes like it was the case with EF600. This one consumes considerably less power, so that already tells me that this one works constantly in class AB operation. Also, it provides less current to output transistors, so clearly it doesn't generate as much heat compared to EF600. I also measured its case temperature, and it was somewhere between 36 and 38 degrees Celsius, so basically my body temperature. And since all those components were made to resist 80 to 100 degrees Celsius on a 24/7 basis, you shouldn't worry, because this one will have a very long service life, so that is already a good starting point. Sound-wise, being an R2R ladder DAC and having a fully discrete headphone amplifier section, class AB amplifier section powered by linear transformer should tell a few things to seasoned audiophiles. If you are a music lover first and then an audiophile later on, then this one will impress with smooth note transitions, with an organic presentation, with a worry-free treble performance that puts plenty of meat on the bone, plenty of textures, but without spicing things up and without brightening the trebles. In a word, I would say that this one is rich or sweet sounding, or maybe warm sounding, but I do believe that works in favor with a few headphones. I was surprised actually by the power output of this unit. It was easily driving plenty of headphones, some of them super hard to drive. As you might know, R2R ladder DACs are using the oldest digital to analog conversion techniques, but those are still unbeatable when it comes to sheer musical enjoyment compared to, say, chip-based solutions, and that's exactly what I'm getting with EF500. I used mostly their top-of-the-line headphones, so the HiFiMan Susvara. I also tried their Audivina, and to my surprise it works excellent with the T+A Solitaire P and also with the HD800S by Sennheiser, which it drove surprisingly very well. What struck me was not the sheer power output and driver control that I was already expecting from this unit, but the strict tonal balance that this one provides in terms of bass, mid-range and treble, striving for a more natural representation rather than a highly technical performance like a Delta Sigma unit would provide. I remember browsing several albums just trying to know is tonality better, which at first it was sweet, smooth and relaxing sounding, but with modern tunes I can say that this one is a sleeper amplifier, especially in that oversampling working mode, just in case it needs to be mean and impactful. Moving on to power output, this is where it gets really interesting. I mean, 4.5 watts per channel on its balanced output should be sufficient for most headphones out there, and to nobody's surprise, that is really the case. With the usual suspects like HiFiMan Aria Organic, Audivina, Meze Elite, Erzetica Ripdis, Skinner and Rogner, I couldn't go louder than 10 o'clock position, reaching an SPL of 90 dB, so it was very loud. With HD800S I needed to go to 11 o'clock position for the same SPL, and with the T+A Solitaire P I was reaching exactly in the middle, so 12 o'clock position, which was very loud again. So it was easily driving all of these headphones without too much trouble, and mind you, these are hard to drive. Solitaire P are not your usual headphones. These demand quite a lot of current to have an amazing driver control, which I was hearing coming from this unit, which is great. What about the HiFiMan Susvara? Well, those are the only headphones that demanding more power, so I was reaching almost full power at around 3 o'clock position, leaving a little bit of headroom. To my surprise, the bass was still present, the bass was still punchy, but at the same time Susvara didn't sound exactly as I know them to be on my reference headphone setup, which is, better but considerably more expensive, so that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. The HiFiMan Susvara sounded okay, but I wouldn't get this unit specifically for the HiFiMan Susvara or HE6. You need more power for a better control over the drivers. They sounded slightly flabby, so not super controlled, and the bass was not incredibly fast and punchy as I know it to be on reference grade headphone amplifiers. However, if I exclude the HiFiMan Susvara, then this one was able to drive everything else no problem, with tons of auto-oriented bass, with tons of control, regardless if we are talking about dynamic or planar headphones. Moving on to dynamics and transient response, as I have mentioned before, with the HiFiMan Susvara, this wouldn't be my choice because it was unable to control their drivers very well, especially when a bass note was hitting my eardrums. The bass sustain, the bass decay was not that great, and the bass was actually quite off sounding because there is not a lot of current, not a lot of power to control all that energy in the bass. However, with everything else, I believe this one is providing all the punch needed, all the control needed. Especially in the oversampling mode, I can feel that it keeps up with fast and demanding tracks with electronica music, something that I can rarely say with R2 wireless DACs. But in the oversampling mode, it slightly improves that pace. There is a slightly more leading edge to the sound, so like there is a little bit more nuance and detail in the music while controlling all that a little bit better. After switching to oversampling mode, I can say that it was slightly grippier and tighter sounding, especially with planar headphones. With dynamic headphones, that wasn't really the case. There was not a lot of difference, but with planar headphones, especially with these ones, I could hear a difference, and it was pretty noticeable with these ones. And if you want to listen to lots of, electronica music or fast-paced music, modern tracks, I do believe that oversampling mode works better in terms of dynamics, impact, and so on. And if you are listening to old jazz, blues, and so on, non-oversampling mode will be sounding better and slightly more natural, in a way lusher at the same time. I started listening to some demanding tracks like Mandala by Blastoise or Goat by Polyphia via the Solitaire P, and I observed that the sound was tight, controlled via that oversampling mode and high gain and balanced output. And I'm pretty sure that the fully discrete Class A/B amplifier section powered by linear transformer is somehow improving, the grip over the driver compared to an op-amp based headphone amplifier that uses a switching mode power supply like tapping or SMSL is doing. Overall, I'd say that EF500 was pretty tight, it was impactful sounding, it was providing plenty of energy down low while controlling everything nicely, except for the HiFiMan Susvara. It was easily pushing dynamics into the lowest octaves, sounding easy-going and effortless most of the time. Let's talk a little bit about its soundstage capabilities and about its imaging, but I'm reminding you that this one costs $459 and this one works as a streamer, as an R2 wireless DAC, and as a discrete headphone amplifier section powered by linear transformer. At this price point, I personally don't know units that offer so many features and being so heavy and providing so high quality sound. Usually DAC amp combos that I tried are going past the psychological barrier or $500, like own S9C, like FiO K9 AKM, FiO K19, Ferrum Erzo. Those are considerably more expensive, going past $1,000. But this one is very affordable, and yet it sounds really big in terms of soundstage and imaging and holography and so on. With the EF500, I feel that the air in between the notes is simply more. So I have simply more spaces in between the notes, and I can easily appreciate every sound, in its own bubble of air. Call it as you want, but it's much easier to focus on all the small things, and everything is not, playing in an image like that, but in an image like that. So it's much easier to focus, and I don't need to stress myself for that to happen. So yes, I do believe the soundstage capabilities of this unit is impressive, and that will move to your stereo setup if you use this one as a standalone DAC for, followed by an integrated or power amplifier. Even without any kind of burn-in, it was pushing the sounds outside my head with a pair of open back headphones like these two. I also put these headphones, the HiFiMan Audivina, in here very specifically. These are closed back headphones, and they usually sound like closed back headphones on an entry-level tapping or SMSL amplifier like A90D or SH9. However, they didn't sound like closed back headphones on this unit right here. It was simply pushing more sounds all around me, and everything was not playing inside my head, but somehow all around it. So that is basically the magic of R2 DACs, of transistor-based amplifiers powered by linear transformers. And that's exactly what we have here, and that's exactly what is happening with all my headphones. And at this exact price point, this is basically a no-brainer if you really love listening to live music, to big orchestras, and to classical music. In my humble opinion, the only drawback of the EF500 is the resolution of this thing, but only if I'm comparing this one with pricier converters like A1 S9C and FiO K9 AKM. If I'm not doing that, then I wouldn't say that this one is lacking resolution. Actually, my statement DAC is also an R2 ladder DAC. It's called Rockna Wave Dream Signature. I'm using that one for quite some time, and in time I tend to appreciate a lot more things than just sheer resolution. That one is extremely organic, very textured, provides so much more meat on the bone in a way, and it somehow binds the notes in a very natural fashion. The music simply flows naturally, exactly how it sounds in real life. And I believe that is more important than sheer resolution on the micro scale. And I can say basically the same things, but on a lesser degree, of course, about the EF500. It's not the most impressive on the micro scale. If you want to hear, the leading edges, contour of the notes, all of that is not very sharp. But at the same time, there is so much more texture, meat on the bone. Music is, bonding somehow with you. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what I'm hearing with EF500. It's not just about sounding natural in terms of, mid-range, treble and bass, but the way the music is being provided to you. The way it pours, the way it goes, the way it decays. It decays a little longer, slower in a way, so you have more time to appreciate all that beauty of string-based instruments, of piano notes. And that's exactly what happens with EF500. So maybe it's not providing the last drop of information, but I believe the information that it provides, it's very lifelike in a way. It's very textured, it's meaty. If you are hunting for micro detail information, for strong contours, for strong leading edges, that is not coming from EF500. You'll need to check some of those tapping SMSL units that are using chip-based converters, delta sigma modulators. Those are sharper, those provide more intricacies, so on and so forth, but at the end of the day, those are sounding quite, ethereal, lightweight. This one is weighty, this one is juicy, this one is very different in a way. But at the end of the day, music is not about sharpness or about micro-level information. Music is about experiences. Music is about, finding yourself, connecting to your tunes and feeling what those guys felt when they're recording that music. Music is about rewiring your feelings in a way. And R2 ladder DACs and discrete amplifiers were made to never interfere with the original signal, trying to be as natural and as lifelike as electronically possible. Describing its frequency response comes naturally. It brings forward some substantial amounts of bass quantity-wise. If you want to be slightly nimble, faster a little bit, more controlled, then I recommend using the oversampling mode. And if you want to have a more relaxed bass with longer decays, smoother sounding in a way, then I recommend using the non-oversampling mode. But regardless of the mode being used, it provides plenty of layers in the bass. It easily reaches the lowest octaves. You'll have plenty of bass energy, sustain and control with both planar and with dynamic headphones. So I believe it does justice to a wider variety of music, and even the simplest tunes felt boosted, adding a substantial kick down low. Considering that we're dealing with an R2 ladder DAC with a fully discrete headphone amplifier section, I'm already thinking about lots of lushness, lots of sweetness and warmth. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm getting from EF500. From all those different conversion techniques of DA converters, I believe that R2 ladder DACs are sounding the most organic and lush. And again, this is how I would describe the mid-range performance of this unit. We also get a soft smoothed out and relaxing treble performance. I know that several HiFiMan headphones have a higher accent than usual in the treble delivery, but this one is working as a natural cure, removing all that glare and harshness and brightness, call it as you want, and delivering you a more natural rendition of the treble. Also, this one worked great with something like HD800S with T plus A solitaire P. Again, made them slightly lusher and slightly more natural and improved the flow of the music at the same time. Although many people enjoy the sound of entry to mid-level HiFiMan headphones like Sondara Edition XS, Ananda Nano, I believe that a proper system matching is needed to unleash maximum performance of those headphones. And this one, I believe, is that cure. So this one is providing a really nice tonal balance with HiFiMan headphones, but of course you can use it with many others like HD800S, with Solitaire P, and with many other brands as well. Wrapping up, undeniably it works best with HiFiMan headphones, adding plenty of textures, meat on the bone, plenty of definition into the bass, while removing all that treble excess. But of course it can work with many other headphone brands out there. These two worked really outstanding. And considering that we're dealing with a 3-in-1 unit, streamer, DAC and headphone amplifier, it's a real challenge finding a con with this one. Except for not having a world-class resolution and lightning fast transit response, I believe that the EF500 is an easy recommendation to make, and this is my honest opinion. Okay guys, this is pretty much it. Please consider subscribing if you like this video. My name is Sando, and I'll see you very soon in that EF499 video where I'll compare this one with the EF500. See you soon.